Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of
What's Going On?
It's your CEO and host E Pesos, in collaboration with G War Chronicles, coming here to bring you another episode of What's Going On. Everything I want to speak on today is a bit of sad. Like, honestly, it's a sad energy that we got going on right now. So we're just going to talk about a few things. Coming from the most recent thing I wanted to speak on a couple of weeks ago, but I've been missing a few episodes because it's just been a lot going on. So the first thing we're going to speak about is Mr. Sean Gathright, right? I want y'all to listen to this clip right here. Pay attention to this.
Rights, age, physical abilities, things like that. Do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes. With my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator, he's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity, and we will put him out there to work because we do have an aging prison population, jail administration, we have that. So we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them since they are young and actually can do the work.
Now, Mr. Gathright was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder of rapper Julio Fulio. There's some footage and some, a lot of documents on the murder, on how it happened, what he did beforehand that led right back to him being arrested for it, him and a few other people. And as you can see, this picture right here, how he broke down when he received that sentence. Don't break down now. You went and did the drill. You went and put the work in, and now it's just part of it. You know what I'm saying? But did y'all hear what the warden was saying, how he wants that sweat equity? Like, nigga, we gonna put y'all to work. Like, y'all gonna be on that field. Basically, it's like a slave. To me, that was like slave trader talk, sweat equity. Like, and I know in the feds, when I was in there, we worked for like 17 cents an hour, $10 a month, sometimes $15 a month. You're working for bed peanuts, you know what I'm saying? But it really wasn't that type of work. Like, you wouldn't see them on the chain gang outside on the highways picking up dead deers and shit like that. That's really not a federal prison thing. That's a state prison thing. And down south where he's at, he's definitely going to be on that gun line, boss. In other news,
the first of 10 officers charged in the beating death of Robert Brooks at Marcy Correctional last December is now off to prison. Christopher Walworth in Oneida County Court today to learn his sentence. News Channel 9's Jeremy Skiba takes us inside the emotional courtroom.
Christopher Walrath was the first of the former Marcy Correction officers to plead guilty in the beating death of Robert Brooks back in May. Now he's the first former guard to face prison time.
The defendant is hereby sentenced to a determinate sentence of 15 years in state prison. That is along with 5 years of post-release supervision.
The special prosecutor, Onondaga County District Attorney Bill Fitzpatrick, said he was willing to dismiss a murder charge because he said, quote, "I don't believe Walrath's blows were independently fatal."
I wanted to get to the why. What did Robert do to provoke this? 8 months later and hundreds of investigative hours later, I can answer that question as to what Robert Brooks did to provoke his death. Absolutely nothing.
Before Walrath heard his sentence, he in the courtroom heard from Robert Brooks Jr.
I want you to imagine watching someone beating your own father helpless, restrained, bloody. I want you to imagine watching your own father be hit with the 50 boot or being dragged by his neck.
Brooks Jr. says he was awaiting his father's release, which was supposed to be next July.
Remember we talked about my guy Robert Brooks, rest in peace. He was killed in Marcy Correctional Facility in New York doing a 7-year bid or some shit like that. Was on his way home to maybe a year before they unalived him. Well, one of the COs out of, I think, like 11, 12 were found guilty. Officer Walworth, he was sentenced to 15 years in state prison. He's going to be doing his time on a different side of the field now. He's going to go from worker to actual inmate. Now, how that's going to go down when he gets inside. Now, usually what happens when a CO goes to prison, he's still looked at as a CO by the staff in there. So you'll have one of a few choices, right? You can either A, do your time in the hole. And I just did a tour in Riverview Correctional Facility and in Governor Correctional Facility. Now I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I walked through the special housing, the Governor facility, the special housing unit, the SHU, the hole, whatever you want to call it. These niggas got their tablets, phones, shower, and a private back rec door inside their cell. Not bragging but don't being bodacious about prison, but goddamn, nigga, that's a sweet motherfucking whole bed. You could do months, years back that bitch. No celly or with a celly, a shower in your room. You get your full commissary. You get a rec door and a phone and a tablet. A nigga do his whole bed in PC. Real talk. So either you could do that, option A, or B, usually they'll get like the skinheads or the Nazis, dirty white boys, whichever white gang has the structure. The COs will align something so they can hold him down. You know what I'm saying? They can hold him down and he'll be safe in there while he do his bid. And in turn, they'll let them get like contraband, cigarettes, whatever drugs, shit like that. They'll let them eat because they hold down one of their own. You know what I'm saying? You know how that goes. So, yes, in the case of Robert Brooks, there's a few more to get sentenced. He's the only one that went to trial. And he received 15 years. The judge handed down that sentence, and he's actually probably starting his bid now. So Officer Walworth found guilty for the Robert Brooks murder that took place at Marcy Correctional Facility. We got another CO did some dumb shit.
As an inmate himself now.
Levy, the most involved of the now 15 former correction officers convicted for Nantui's beating in March of last year. News Channel 9's Lindsay Peters takes us to the Oneida County courtroom for his sentencing.
There might be no better perspective than from one of the last people to see Messiah Nantui alive.
See my friend getting killed in front of me really affected me a lot.
Michael Moon was sharing a prison cell with Nantui when officers attacked him.
Whatever happens, how much time this guy gets, I just hope no matter what, man, you realize how much people you hurt. Because you know, he took away my friend. He took away someone I could have been friends with for a long time.
Jonah Levy standing before the judge, taking advantage of what many of his fellow ex-officers have turned down, the chance to apologize.
Just very remorseful, sir. Nothing that happened. I don't think any father should bury their son. I feel awful about that.
In almost 100 letters to the judge, Levy's friends, family, and co-workers tried to portray him as a good father, not a man who'd kill another.
The real you is the real you that's with your family and in the community and doing good things. And I think the real you, what stood out to me, was evident in the body-worn camera when you're fist bumping other officers, laughing and joking, as Mr. Nantu lay on the floor, dying in that infirmary because of the things you and those other officers did.
I believe him.
In this situation, Officer Jonah Levy, right? Levy, if I'm saying his name correctly, he worked at Mid-State Corrections Facility. He got found guilty in the murder of Messiah Nantui, if I'm saying his name correctly. Messiah Nantui, young boy from out of Harlem, I believe, was caught on body cam fist bumping. Like celebrating that they killed this young man. And a group of 12 of them, I believe, went to a local diner afterwards and had dinner and conspired a plan on how they were going to try to cover this murder up. You know what I'm saying? The judge say, you got a bunch of people rooting for you and saying that you're a good man. But no, the man we saw, the real man you are, is the man we saw in that video fist bumping that you killed somebody. Thank God for body cams. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just gave y'all 2 men who were unalived in prison in the last year. One 9 months ago, one 4 months ago. So you got Officer Walworth in the Robert Brooks case and Officer Levy in the Mid-State Correctional case. Levy is sentenced to 25 years in state prison. He's another officer that's going to be on the other side of the fence. Now, how that time will go for him, same thing. They're still looked at as blue when it comes to the system, right? So that's how that's going to go for these guys, right? Now, the main case everybody's talking about right now is the case that's going on in South Carolina. I want to get his name correct. I want to get his name all the way correct. Mr. Cyrell. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to get his name all the way correct. Mr. Cyrell Carmack Belton. Cyrell Carmack Belton, 14 years old, shot in the back, unalived by the hands of a store owner from a convenience store. Now, I listened to somewhat of the trial. They reached with the murder charge. Should have went after him for manslaughter because, and we all know, South Carolina, Commonwealth State for one. Secondly, anytime, any state, anytime a victim is found with a weapon on them, that gives the other person all the reign in the world to say they felt threatened, all the reign in the world to say they had to do what they had to do to defend themselves. So the moment that this 14-year-old man got, 14-year-old young man, the moment he was seized with this weapon, it changes the whole trajectory of the case. You know what I'm saying? Because why did you have a weapon? You're 14, you got a gun on you, you in the store looking suspicious, or you wasn't, whatever the case may be. And I seen previously that this store owner had previous issues from people coming to his store, stealing and things like that. Now, people gonna look at it different ways. But if you were a store owner, you know, if you had to defend your store and people coming to your store stealing and taking stuff, you're going to go to protect yourself too. I'm pretty sure this is the urban community that this store is in. And a lot of these store owners, they're scared, they're under pressure. I'm not making excuses for nobody, just looking at things on a different side of the spectrum, right? So here it is, this young man, you tell him, hey, come here for a second, he takes off running. Whether he stole nothing or not, but the reason why he ran is not because he stole something. I got a gun on me. So even if you pat me down for these water bottles, I don't have it on me. I don't got the water bottle, but I got something else on me too, though. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether it was in the book bag, on his waistline, when you're running, and everybody know when you in some shit and you got that thing on you, when you running, that shit might fall down your leg, might fall off your waistline. So did it drop and he saw it and he reacted? We don't know. There's a big question. But I feel that murder was the wrong charge to go at him for. You should have came at him for murder. You should have came at him maybe under the grounds of manslaughter. You probably could have got a conviction. So hopefully, if they retry and they come back again, they can get his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a real live situation. And big shout to those down there in South Carolina that's down there. They're protesting. They're looting. They're going to war right now down there on the streets of South Carolina and Columbia, South Carolina. So my prayers go to them and everything that they got going on right now too. It's just sad situations, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want all the youngers to see that man is about to go do time. Sean Gathright, he about to go do the rest of his years in prison, and he's going to work on a chain line, on a chain gang for the rest of his life, right? Messiah Natswell, young man, unalived by an officer. Robert Brooks, young man, unalived by an officer. Cyrell, young man, unalived, right, by a store owner. Now, we got to get deeper in the surface and scratch the pain on why this young man, 14 years old, was carrying a gun. I know why at 14 years old I was carrying a gun. And we need therapy, bro. We need therapy. Us as black men, we really need therapy because the things that we should deem insane, we normalize. We're able to walk past all these things on our way to school. On the way to school, you walk past fiends, crackheads, crack vials, weed baggies, Dutch guts, everything that you can think of that you're watching, you're looking at, you're seeing on your way to school. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to go in this environment and learn, and I got all these elements against me on my way to school. I'm just trying to get to school, yo. You know what I'm saying? So what was the pain? What's going on in these young men's lives that they're running to weapons, running to guns? You know what I'm saying? Running to guns. What was going on? You know what I'm saying? So even if, like I said, even if he did or did not steal anything, as soon as they called him, hey, you come here. I'm not even running for the water. I ain't take nothing. But now it leaves question. There's no more reasonable doubt now. It's question. Was he going to rob me? Was he going to shoot me? Did this man stop him? Is by him killing him, did he stop him from harming someone else later that day? Was somebody else going to get harmed? These are the questions in the juror's mind. What did he stop him from doing? All right, and there's a hero in the story somewhere. It's a heroic act that you killed somebody with a gun, and you possibly could have stopped him from doing something to somebody else. There's the thought. Now there's no reasonable doubt. There's cloudiness. There's wait a minute. And once that happens, the case is closed. Rest in peace to that young man. You know what I'm saying? And my prayers go to his family. But now it turns a big deeper. Why was a 14-year-old boy carrying a gun? Just graduated grammar school. Summertime, it might have been rough in that area, rough in that community. Ain't no telling what was going on. But there's a bigger situation here. You know what I'm saying? To why all these men were unalived, while men in prison was unalived. What did he do to get in prison? Why did he go to prison? Why do we think you can't die in prison? Mr. Gathright, you killed the rapper, and now you're in prison crying. You're crying. You did the crime. You're crying. You give up the rest of your life when you jump in that car, when you put that gun in your hand, when you cock that motherfucker back and put one in the head. You signed your death ticket away right there, bro. That's universal right in the law. Every time you bring that shit outside, you saying to yourself, this is a jail sentence on my hip. So now you ask yourself, if I gotta bring my gun out, do I need to go? If I gotta bring my gun outside, is this something I need to be doing? Is this a place I need to be going? Maybe I need to change my mind and do something a little different. But we don't think about that when we out here, you know what I mean, herking and lurking, doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying? And in closing on what's going on, somebody asked me to speak about, hold up, how do you feel about the Jay-Z freestyle? Man, Jay-Z freestyle was cool, but I don't want to hear no gangster shit from a nigga that got a motherfucking federal informant working for him. And with that being said, it's another episode of it's your boy E Pesos C on host of G World Chronicles. What's going on? It's another episode. Let's get it. Peace.
Can see what's going on. What's going on?